What's up with it, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Raider Honcho, and I'm back with a brand new video for you. Alright, let's get right into it. You already know the vibes. You already know what type of time I'm on and what we're here to talk about. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel and hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. Both are at Raider Honcho. So, keeping it real is just something y'all gonna have to deal with. And anybody that comes to my channel knows that I don't care about how you feel. I'm gonna talk about what's real. And yeah, today we had our third preseason game, so I'm just gonna give you a little bit of the Get the Strap game recap. Yeah, so I watched the game. I knew what the game was going to look like because in my opinion, we were playing third and fourth string guys going against a team that we already knew was going to play their starters, right? So it wasn't nothing that really happened to a surprise to me. I talked about our numbers and I talked about our linebacker position primarily being really thin. So I'm not surprised that the linebackers really got destroyed today. I mean, our linebacking core is decimated. We didn't have a starter out there outside of Tanner Muse, and he's like a borderline starter in my opinion. But I mean, let's talk about it. Let's start with Deablo, right? Let's start right there with Deablo. Deablo was in a no-win situation. It was going to be very hard for him to come in his first time, getting snaps, getting reps in a live NFL type of game. He was going to be going against the first team, and not just going against the first team, but being in there with guys who aren't first team. So he really had to, just learn under fire, man. It was just going to be really tough for him. But some of the things that I did notice about him is he just looked really lost in the sauce, especially when it came to the pass coverages and the scheme on the passing side of the defense, right? Other things that I saw was that he just wasn't able to react yet. He was more just watching, thinking a little too much, flat-footed at times, probably just because he's not really in there a lot, right? He doesn't have enough time on task to be that comfortable to just kind of read and react things. So I expected there to be some type of learning curve there. I'm not down on Deablo. I don't think he looked great. The thing that concerns me about Deablo more is that he seemed to be outmatched or overmatched when it came to the offensive linemen. When they were coming out to block him, it seemed like he could not get off of blocks. And that's a little bit alarming when you're talking about a guy who's going to be playing backer for us, who's going to have to spill and have run fits as well. And in that same thread, you would have to think about Tanner Muse. I think Tanner Muse had the same problems today. Like, he was going against number ones, big offensive linemen that were getting paws on him, and he looked like he had a hard time getting off of blocks. Now, he didn't look slow. He didn't look like he wasn't reacting right. It looked like he was just overmatched. And I think that that's something the Raiders are going to have to deal with, because even though we have fast linebackers and fast players in general, we're not an overly big team. Like, especially in that linebacker position, we have a bunch of hybrid guys, a bunch of tweeners. We don't, outside of Nick Kwiatkowski, we don't have actual, legit linebackers who are built for that position. Not that they can't play that position, but they're not built for that position, okay? So let's take a step further and go back into the back end of that defense, which is the secondary. I thought Damon Arnette looked really good. I thought he did exactly what I thought he would do, and it was impressive to see him be able to cover receivers, because again, he's going against the ones. As much as I like Nate Hobbs and Amik Robertson, a lot of the time in the preseason, they've been going against number 2s and number 3s. So it was good to see Damon Arnette go against some ones and look like he belonged there. He was one of the only people on that defense that looked like he belonged there, and a couple other guys did as well, and that's going to be Amik Robertson and Carl Joseph. I thought Carl Joseph did a great job at tackling. He did a great job of making his presence felt, really hustled, really showed that he knows how to play the scheme, knows how to play defense, and I think this is going to be a guy who is probably definitely going to be on the, I can't say probably, definitely. This is a guy who looks like there is a good shot he's going to be on the 53, just because we don't have guys like him on the team, on the roster, up and down the roster, right? So you need guys like that. I thought Amik Robertson looked really well. Amik Robertson was probably the most impressive. I'm not going to say Damon Arnette was most impressive, because Damon Arnette was doing things I knew he could do. Amik Robertson on the other side was doing things I wasn't sure he could do. The way he attacks in the run game, and the way that he has the confidence to play in the coverage side of things, in the coverage game, the pass game, it was super impressive today. The way he came up, made tackles, yes. Did he keep his head down and miss a few tackles? Yes, but he's a DB, and y'all know how I feel about DBs making tackles. I don't give a damn. I want you to be able to cover, and he showed that he could do both really well. So I was impressed with the secondary. Now, I was not impressed with Nevin Lawson. I told you he can go today. I wasn't impressed with Isaiah Johnson. If you watch my channel, you see that I just did a video breaking down their techniques and stuff. And the Raiders defensive backs just have really poor technique. Damon Arnette actually had good technique today, but even off the line of scrimmage, he looked a little flat-footed. I'll try to get some footage of that for you guys and hook that up and kind of give you my real breakdowns on the DBs. I'll definitely try to do that. I might do that like an every week thing, like break down the DBs, like do a DB classroom or some shit like that. But I thought that that Isaiah Johnson looked really bad. He looked really bad in coverage. He just looked bad. And you might say, well, he hasn't played that much, but damn, he played last year. He's a starter last year at certain points, so he doesn't really have any excuses, man. He needs to tighten up, and if he doesn't tighten up, he should be gone. But the things I saw on the offensive side of the ball is I knew we would struggle offensively just because we're not playing our top guys, man. There's only so much Nathan Peterman could do, especially behind the line that's not that good, and with receivers that are really fourth-string receivers. But with that being said, I thought Stoner looked really good, and I thought DJ Turner looked good as well. And those are two guys that I wouldn't be mad if they made the team. Now, a lot of people in my comments thought that I was saying we should cut Snead and we should cut John Brown. I'm not saying that. I just wouldn't be mad if we cut Snead and John Brown for the two young guys, considering that we're moving forward and trying to build for the future. And you have guys like Ruggs, Brian Edwards, and Hunter Renfrow in front of them, also with Zay Jones. It's like, I don't mind having two young guys who are young, thoroughbred dogs that are ready to get it done, and they're going to be cheaper, they're younger. Some way we can invest into our team going forward instead of having to do all these one-year contracts, getting guys that might be a little over the hill. So I thought those guys looked good. I thought Vegas continued to look well, and that's about it on the offensive side of the ball. So for me, it wasn't a terrible showing as far as skills and stuff, but I didn't like the effort I saw a lot on defense. I didn't see guys chasing plays down backside. I mean, of course, we saw a few guys, but it just seemed like some of those guys were disinterested and kind of knew that they weren't going to be here anyway. This was probably their send-off party. And the Raiders are going to go from 80 to 53 in a couple days, so I'm excited to see that. But yeah, that's pretty much my game recap. I think the game was won and lost with our linebackers and our offensive line, and that's how it's going to be for the rest of the season, right? Depending how offensive line can do, depending how our defensive line can do, mixed in with linebackers and who they're going to be, that's going to be indicative of what type of season we're going to have. And that's why, to me, it's not playoff or bust, because I don't think we have all the pieces to be a bona fide playoff team. Playoff or bust means you're built to guarantee yourself a playoff spot. So when you don't, it's a failure. I don't see this team as being a guaranteed playoff team. Could they make the playoffs? Absolutely. But could they miss the playoffs? Yes. So therefore, you know, it can't be all or nothing for this season. But that's what I think. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you like the video, like the video. If you like the content on the channel, please subscribe to the channel. That's our preseason. Preseason is wrapped up. I thought we would lose this game, and we did lose this game, so I'm not really upset. It's just preseason, and we weren't playing our big dogs. But don't forget, come season time, I will be live every pregame with my homie Raid the Tape. We'll be doing the Raid and Hodge pregame show. It's going to be lit. It's going to be fire. Make sure you pull up to that. And I'll be on halftimes and maybe a little postgame. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but until the next time, Raider Honcho out.